You and half the fan base are holding out hope. The other half has already written the season off and is talking about the draft. That split makes sense. 6-6 with Patrick Mahomes is a place this era hasn't seen, and it feels unfamiliar and uncomfortable. The key thing to understand right now is simple. There are 5 games left that determine whether this team sneaks into the postseason or spends January watching and planning for next year. That's the tension we're going to unpack. Let's be honest, the Chiefs have been on an unprecedented run for years, and expectations are as high as any teams in the league. When you look at the calendar from here, everything matters. Divisional games, head-to-head tilt with the Chargers, and a stretch where winning the games you're expected to win becomes absolutely mandatory. The scenario simulation we're using shows a clear theme. The Chiefs' destiny is mostly in their hands, but they also need a little bit of help from how the rest of the AFC shakes out. In plain language, you want the Chiefs to win out, but if they drop one game, it can still be salvageable as long as it's not the wrong game against the wrong opponent. Before we dive into the week-by-week breakdown, do this quick thing for me. Hit like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Help this channel get to 6,000 subscribers so we can keep breaking down moments like this. And while you're at it, vote in the comments. Do the Chiefs make the playoffs? Yes or no, and why? Your answer will shape the rest of the conversation in the next chapters. Alright, ready to walk through the actual 5-week scenarios and point out the exact games that matter? If so, I'll break them down next. Alright, let's dig into the actual week-by-week picture and what the simulation in that video was showing, because the details matter. Week 14 is where the immediate pressure starts. Your must-win is Chiefs versus Texans. Take care of business there, and you keep control. At the same time, the Chargers play the Eagles, and how that result falls will have big ripple effects. If the Chargers lose, it makes Kansas City's path much clearer. The video ran through several AFC matchups, Bills versus Bengals, Ravens versus Steelers, Colts versus Jaguars, and pointed out that not all of those directly shift the Chiefs' fate this week, but they do shape the seeding cascade over the next few weeks. Moving to Week 15, the back-to-back stretch becomes brutal. The Chiefs, again, have divisional duties, and the Chargers matchup is effectively a head-to-head race for that wild-card spot. The simulation flagged that the winner of the Chiefs-Chargers window down the stretch will likely determine who gets that last seed. Week 16 and 17 are the grind. You're looking at road tests and must-win home games. Titans and Broncos featured heavily in the breakdown, and the simulation explicitly showed that if the Chiefs can get through weeks 14-17 with every expected win, they're essentially guaranteed a playoff spot. The video's exercise also highlighted a realistic allowance. There is one loss the Chiefs could survive, but crucially, it can't be to the Chargers or Texans. Those particular losses become far more damaging because of division tiebreakers and head-to-head implications. Week 18, the finale, becomes a scenario decider in several branches of the simulation. If the Chiefs win out and the Chargers stumble in 2 or 3 of their remaining games, Kansas City can lock in a wild card or even a higher seed depending on how the other AFC wildcard races shake out. 2 big outside things to root for are Jacksonville winning the AFC South, that helps the Chiefs' tiebreak math, and the Colts sliding, which was emphasized repeatedly in the source. Colts losses help open the door. Put plainly, your priority checklist is simple and brutal. Win the games you're supposed to win, especially divisional games. Don't lose to the Chargers or Texans, and hope your rival in the wild card race, the Chargers, drops enough games to make up for any slip-ups. The simulation was not full of wild upsets. Most favorites kept winning, and yet the Chiefs still needed to keep pace. That tells you how tight the margin is. Now, for the engagement piece, I want you to weigh in. Which single opponent outcome matters most to you over these 5 weeks? Chargers, Texans, Colts, Jaguars, or someone else? Drop your pick in the comments and give 1 sentence why. Also, quick reminder, if you value this breakdown, hit the like button and subscribe to help push the channel to 6,000 subscribers so we can keep doing deep scenario videos like this. At the end of the day, the week-by-week grind shows 2 themes. 1, the Chiefs' destiny is largely in their own hands if they can avoid those poison losses, and 2, a little help from losses by the Chargers and stumbles by the Colts or other AFC contenders makes life much easier. I'm going to walk through the math and the exact must-dos next, the clean, actionable list every fan wants. But first tell me in the comments which result you want to see most this week and why. This chapter turns that messy simulation into a clear checklist you can actually understand and repeat. Action items the team needs to execute, and what fans should be watching for in other games. First and most important, win the divisional games. You must beat the Texans this week, and you must not hand the Chargers an extra lifeline later in the stretch. Win those divisional matchups, and you keep control of the simplest tiebreakers. Lose to either, and the road becomes exponentially harder. Second, target 4 to 5 wins in the final 5 games. The clean answer is win out, but the realistic target is at least 4-1 across this stretch. If you win out, then you're almost certainly in, wild card or better depending on other results. If you go 4-1 with the lone loss being to a non-division opponent, then you still have a solid chance, provided the Chargers drop multiple games. Third, pick a handful of outside rooting interests. You want the Chargers to lose 2 or 3 games down the stretch, you want the Colts to slide or suffer key losses, and you want Jacksonville to take the AFC South. Those 3 things materially change the math in Kansas City's favor. Now, the survivable and non-survivable losses, stated bluntly, a single loss is survivable only if it's not against the Chargers or Texans. If the one loss comes to a non-division team, Denver, Titans, Raiders, you may still be alive as long as the Chargers stumble and the Colts, Jaguars results fall the right way. If that one loss is to the Chargers or Texans, then you've likely lost the crucial head-to-head or divisional tiebreaker, and your margin for error evaporates. Here are the if this then that lines you can use when explaining the scenarios to someone in the comments or when you're watching the games. If the Chiefs win out, then they clinch a playoff spot, likely a wild card and maybe higher depending on Chargers results. If the Chiefs go 4-1 but the loss is to Denver or another non-divisional opponent, then they still have a strong shot if the Chargers drop 2 or more games. If the Chiefs lose to the Chargers or Texans, then the Chiefs' path is nearly closed. They'll be relying on multiple rival stumbles and complicated tiebreakers. If the Chargers lose 2 to 3 of their remaining games, then the Chiefs can afford a single slip and still sneak in. If the Colts keep winning and Jacksonville does not capture the South, then the margin tightens and you need perfection from the Chiefs. Practically speaking, what should the coaching staff stress and what should you expect? Stress winning the pocket, limiting turnovers, and dominating special teams. Those are the small margins that change close games into wins and are exactly the kind of plays the simulation assumes when it gives you a surviving single-loss path. From a fan perspective, your daily checklist. 1. Watch the Chiefs' divisional games like a hawk. 2. Track the Chargers' results and celebrate their stumbles. 3. Root for Colts losses and Jacksonville division wins. 4. Understand head-to-head tiebreakers. They matter more than random upsets. Don't get complacent. The simulation showed that even when favorites won most weeks, the Chiefs still needed to win their own games. So the simplest, most actionable mantra is, win the games you should win. Avoid division losses and hope your rival trips up. All right, quick engagement. Would you rather the Chiefs win out or hope the Chargers lose 2 to 3 games? Answer yes or no in the comments and explain one sentence why. Also drop one bold prediction for the final 5 games. Give me a single game outcome you think most people will be surprised by. And before you type that, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to help push this channel to 6,000 subscribers so we can keep breaking down the scenarios. When you're ready, I'll close this out with the fan mindset and final push. Reply with C to continue to Chapter 4. Look, you've seen the numbers and the scenarios. Now let's talk about how to handle the next 5 weeks as a fan who actually wants to help the team instead of spiral into doom scrolling. First, adopt a practical mindset. Stay invested but measured. The simplest, healthiest approach is this. Care about every game. Do the small emotional work of celebrating the wins you can control, and don't catastrophize a single close loss unless it's one of the division poison pills, Chargers or Texans. From a day-to-day standpoint, watch the Chiefs' divisional games like their playoff games already, track the Chargers' results tightly, and check the Colts, Jaguars outcomes on Sunday nights, because those influence the tie-break math more than most fans realize. If the Chiefs make it, They don't need to be perfect. They need momentum and clean football. Protect the ball, win the turnover battle, and make special team stops in tight games. That's the practical football checklist you should be looking for on game day. Emotionally, give yourself permission to be hopeful without attaching your entire mood to one weekend's result. This team, with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, has a track record of playoff runs even after uneven regular seasons. So optimism here is not naive, it's realistic if tempered by the must-win list we laid out. If they do make it as a wild card, remember how dangerous they are in one-and-done settings? The regular season record matters less than who shows up in January. If they don't make it, use the final 5 weeks to gather clarity on roster needs and to set expectations for the offseason rather than burning the whole year down. Now a quick fan action plan. D1. Watch Chiefs divisional games with full focus. 2. Track Chargers outcomes and celebrate their stumbles. 3. Root quietly for Colts losses and Jacksonville division wins. And 4. Keep one simple mantra. Win your games, avoid division losses, and let the AFC fall where it may. Before I sign off, hit like and subscribe to help push this channel to 6,000 subscribers so we can keep these breakdowns coming, and drop one quick comment right now. After seeing the scenarios, do you feel hopeful or done? Give one sentence why. Also leave one bold prediction for the final 5 games. A single outcome you think will surprise most fans. Stay locked with Total Chiefs. News, Hail Chiefs!